From grainy Cuba parking lots, where Pac's seen laughing with fans, to that viral 2014 Celtics game clip, it's been nearly 3 decades since Tupac's death, but not everyone's convinced he's gone. Here are the most talked about clips fans believe prove Tupac never really left. The Cuba parking lot video. Aight. So our first stop takes us to the sunny, vibrant streets of Cuba, where arguably one of the most talked about pieces of footage in Tupac conspiracy lore first hit the scene. This low-quality video allegedly shows Tupac in a Cuban parking lot, chopping it up with a group of cats and signing autographs for the people.
I just been chilling right here in Cuba. Life has been good.
The footage itself is mad grainy, shot on what looks like early 2000s camera equipment that barely captured anything clear, and it pans across several heads before settling on a dude who bears a crazy resemblance to Tupac Shakur. The man in question has a similar build, high cheekbones, and a goatee, all characteristics that defined Pac's whole look back in the mid-1990s. At one point in the video, the man briefly looks dead at the camera while saying phrases like "holler back," which was straight up part of Tupac's signature street vocabulary, and how he used to speak to the people. Now check it. Why Cuba specifically, though? Well, theorists claim this proves he dipped out to Cuba to link up with his aunt, Assata Shakur, who's been living there in asylum. For those who ain't hip, Assata Shakur is a Black Panther activist who escaped from U.S. prison back in 1979 and was granted political asylum in Cuba, where she's been posted up ever since. The connection ain't just family ties. It's deeply political and provides what theorists believe is the perfect spot for a real one to lay low and stay off the radar. What makes this sighting particularly wild is the timing of when it surfaced. The video popped up shortly after rapper Tretch from Naughty by Nature casually mentioned seeing Tupac in Cuba during a 2010 interview. Suddenly, this grainy footage that had been floating around in conspiracy circles gained mainstream attention, and the whole internet went crazy with speculation and debate. Supporters of the theory point to the man's energetic demeanor and eye shape as dead-on matches to Tupac's known characteristics, and some heads even claim that voice analysis shows mad similarities to how Pac used to speak. However, the haters and skeptics are quick to point out several major issues. The lack of visible tattoos is a huge red flag. Tupac had prominent ink all over, including his legendary Thug Life tattoo stretched across his abdomen. The poor video quality conveniently obscures these identifying features, leading many people to believe it's either a look-alike trying to cash in on the resemblance or cleverly edited footage designed to fool the masses. Cuba video with Suge Knight. Staying posted up in Cuba for our second sighting, we run into another piece of footage that has generated millions of views and mad debates all across the internet streets. A YouTube video with over 3 million views claims to capture Tupac kicking it and joking around with Suge Knight in Cuba, allegedly filmed during a music video shoot back in 2004. This grainy clip, supposedly recorded during Suge Knight's time down in Cuba handling business, primarily shows the back of a man's head and his side profile as he's chopping it up with Knight. The man laughs and gestures in ways that fans and the hood swear down mirror Tupac's distinctive mannerisms to a T. However, there are no visible tattoos anywhere in the footage, which has led some heads to argue it's either a body double getting paid to play the part or cleverly edited material designed to keep the mystery alive. The connection to Suge Knight is particularly significant in this whole situation. Real talk. This footage emerged online in the mid-2010s, often linked directly to Knight's cryptic statements about Tupac's survival. In that infamous 2014 interview with Ice-T that had everybody talking, Knight straight up implied that Tupac survived the shooting and escaped, sending conspiracy theorists and hip-hop heads into absolute overdrive with wild speculation about what really went down that night. Proponents of this footage argue that it aligns perfectly with Knight's hints and suggests a whole staged death scenario orchestrated from the jump. The theory goes that Knight was directly involved in facilitating Tupac's escape, possibly via helicopter from the hospital, allowing him to avoid the increasingly violent East-West Coast rap beef that had already claimed several lives in the game and was threatening to take more. A 2012 YouTube upload titled "Tupac is Alive, Never Seen Before" video from 2004 garnered millions of views from the culture, fueling intense debates in the comments section where heads from all over the world were going back and forth. Supporters break down and analyze every single frame, every gesture, every laugh, looking for that confirmation of what they desperately want to believe, that their hero is still out there somewhere living. Critics, however, point out the footage's fundamental ambiguity and lack of clear evidence. The absence of any clear, front-facing spacing shots raises immediate suspicions of manipulation or straight misdirection. In 2020, a documentary titled Tupac, The Great Escape from UMC explored similar theories in depth, but ultimately found no concrete evidence to support the claims being made. Recent social media posts from 2025, particularly on TikTok and Facebook where the young heads stay active, continue to recycle this footage, often blending it with newer AI-generated clips, but forensic video analysts and tech-savvy folks have consistently debunked these as low-effort manipulations designed to go viral and get clicks. New Orleans bar photos. Fast forward to 2009, and we find ourselves deep in the heart of New Orleans' legendary Bourbon Street, where a series of photographs sparked one of the most mainstream conversations about Tupac's possible survival that the culture had seen in years. Photos published by TMZ show a man looking remarkably like Tupac at a bar on Bourbon Street, seated casually among other patrons getting their drink on.
Alright guys, so these are the pictures TMZ says they took of Pac back in 2009 when they said he was at a bar in New Orleans.
These weren't just some blurry, distant shots taken on a bootleg camera phone from across the room. These were relatively clear images that captured a dude with high cheekbones, a goatee, and a striking resemblance to what an aged Tupac might look like if he'd been living under the radar all these years. The photos show him looking relaxed as hell, seemingly unaware that he's being photographed, just enjoying what appears to be a casual night out at Bourbon Rock's bar with the people. TMZ, never one to shy away from sensational headlines that get everybody talking, ran with the story under the banner "Tupac is alive" and followed up with mad additional shots. According to their reporting on the situation, the DJ at the venue, MC Difficult, allegedly announced the man as Tupac from the booth, which prompted loud cheers from the whole crowd. The photos went absolutely viral across hip-hop blogs, forums, and every social media platform where the culture lives. Sites like WrapUp covered the story extensively, with fans from the hood to the suburbs dissecting every single pixel of the images like they were forensic scientists. People zoomed way in on facial features, comparing them side by side to known photos of Tupac from back in the day. One particular detail that really caught people's attention was a scalp mark that appeared to match a known feature of Tupac's that true fans would recognize. However, reality soon caught up with all the excitement and hype. TMZ later clarified that the man was most likely just a really convincing doppelganger, and subsequent investigations by people who went digging identified him as a local cat named William, not Tupac Shakur. Debunkers highlighted specific differences in ear shape and height that didn't quite match up with Tupac's known physical characteristics when you really studied them closely. Despite the official debunking from multiple sources, the images have resurfaced repeatedly over the years whenever talk of Tupac's survival heats up. In 2025, Facebook and Instagram posts revisited these same old photos, with users zooming in on that scalp mark as proof of authenticity and arguing with skeptics in the comments. AI detection tools show no digital manipulation whatsoever, confirming that while the photos are legit real and unaltered, they simply capture a very convincing lookalike who happened to be in the right place at the right time, not the legendary rapper himself. Sweden, rapping video. Our journey now takes us all the way across the Atlantic to Sweden, where back in 2012, a peculiar video began circulating on YouTube and conspiracy forums that had heads scratching their heads. The footage shows a man resembling Tupac performing on a small stage somewhere in Sweden, rapping in English and commanding the mic.
It's supposedly Tupac in 2012. He's reportedly living in Sweden and has schizophrenia.
What makes this sighting particularly interesting and worth breaking down is the whole context of the situation. Sweden might seem like a random and unlikely location for Tupac to surface if he was really alive, but theorists argue it's precisely the kind of unexpected, low-key place where someone trying to maintain strict anonymity would test the waters and see if they could still perform. The thinking goes that if Tupac wanted to rap again, to feed that creative drive and passion that defined his whole career and made him a legend, he might do so in a small European venue where he's far less likely to be recognized by American fans or industry people who knew him personally. The performer in the video has similar cheekbones and a goatee, physical features that definitely align with Tupac's signature appearance that the whole world knew. The man's stage presence and the way he commands the microphone and works the small crowd bear enough resemblance to spark countless YouTube comments dissecting every single aspect of the performance frame by frame. Supporters of the theory claim the physical likeness is undeniable, including including specific facial structure and mannerisms that you can't fake. However, the actual performance itself raises some serious questions that even believers have to acknowledge. Critics are real quick to point out that the rapping lacks Tupac's raw talent, intensity, and that distinctive flow that made him one of the greatest to ever do it. Tupac was known throughout the game for his passionate delivery, his incredible ability to weave complex narratives and stories, and his absolutely commanding stage presence that could control any crowd. This performance, while competent enough, doesn't quite reach those legendary heights that we all know Pac was capable of. Additionally, there are no visible tattoos anywhere on the performer's body, which again becomes a major sticking point for skeptics trying to debunk the whole thing. The video surfaced on YouTube and sparked heated debates on Reddit's r/Tupac forum, where users from all over passionately argued both sides of the debate with paragraphs of evidence. Some theorists suggested that if this were really Tupac moving in secret, he might have deliberately toned down his performance style to avoid drawing too much attention and being recognized, or that years away from the spotlight and the game had naturally changed his delivery and approach. Others in the comments proposed that he'd aged significantly and his whole delivery had evolved accordingly after all that time away from hip-hop. Boston Celtics game footage. Yo, sometimes the wildest and most intriguing sightings happen in the most public of places where everybody can see. And that's exactly what went down during a March 5th, 2014 Boston Celtics versus Golden State Warriors game at TD Garden. In front of thousands of fans in attendance and broadcast live to countless viewers chilling at home, something completely unexpected happened that would soon blow up and go viral across the internet.
When they say, what are they chanting? They're chanting, "Let's go Tupac," because Tupac was apparently at the game.
Arena cameras captured a man sitting in the crowd who bore a striking resemblance to Tupac Shakur, sporting a nose stud, bandana, and goatee, all signature elements of Tupac's iconic style that the culture recognized immediately when his image suddenly appeared up on the massive jumbotron for everyone in the building to see. The crowd's reaction was immediate and absolutely wild. Fans began loudly chanting, "Tupac, Tupac," amid what was otherwise a terrible blowout loss for the Celtics that nobody was enjoying. The moment was captured by multiple cameras from different angles, with videos from the live broadcast circulating rapidly on YouTube, sports blogs, and every social media platform. Sports news outlets from all over jumped on the story immediately, with Boston Magazine, NESN, CBS Boston, and Larry Brown Sports all publishing articles and sharing videos about the crazy Tupac sighting at the game. For conspiracy theorists in the hood and online forums, this represented something really significant beyond just a funny moment. They saw it as legitimate evidence of Tupac enjoying public sporting events incognito, moving through crowds like a regular person, perhaps testing how easily he could blend in without being definitively identified or exposed. The theory suggested that he was living a relatively normal life after faking his death, attending basketball games, something that perfectly aligned with his well-known love of hoops, which he referenced heavily in multiple songs and interviews during his career. The man in question smiled awkwardly when his face was shown on the big screen, neither confirming nor denying the crowd's excited chants and speculation. His demeanor seemed amused, but not necessarily surprised or uncomfortable with all the attention suddenly on him. Theorists analyzed this reaction extensively, with some arguing that his comfort level with the whole situation suggested someone who was accustomed to such attention, possibly because he actually was the person everyone in the building thought he was. However, the truth behind the whole thing proved way more mundane and simple. The man was eventually identified as a local Boston resident and well-known Tupac lookalike who had actually attended multiple games before this incident. People who personally knew him from around the city confirmed he was a regular at TD Garden who enjoyed the attention, and he definitely wasn't the deceased rap legend. The absence of Tupac's distinctive and well-documented tattoos and no vocal confirmation whatsoever sealed the complete debunking. Bet Awards photo. Just a few months after that whole Boston Celtics incident had the internet talking, another high-profile sighting emerged. From the scene, this time straight from the heart of the entertainment industry itself, where all the real players convene. On June 29, 2014, Snoop Dogg posted an Instagram photo from the BET Awards that would send conspiracy theorists and hip-hop heads into an absolute frenzy for weeks. The image captures a man seated directly in front of Snoop, rocking a nose stud and bandana, with facial features that bear mad resemblance to Tupac Shakur. The angle of the photo highlights the person's cheekbones and eyes in a specific way that sparked immediate speculation across every social media platform where the culture lives and breathes. The significance of this particular sighting cannot be understated when you really consider the whole context and history. Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur shared a deep friendship and professional relationship during the mid-1990s that the whole hip-hop world knew about. They collaborated on the iconic and legendary track Two of America's Most Wanted, and their bond was heavily documented through photos, videos, and stories from the era. For theorists who study this stuff religiously, the idea that Tupac might resurface at a major industry event where his old homie Snoop was present held real poetic significance and seemed almost destined. However, Snoop Dogg himself never publicly commented on all the speculation and conspiracy theories surrounding the photo he posted, and BET's official 2014 coverage of the awards show made absolutely no mention of any Tupac sighting or controversy. The man in the photo was ultimately identified through further investigation as just another regular attendee who happened to look remarkably like the late rapper. The lack of any official acknowledgement whatsoever from Snoop or BET strongly suggested it was simply another case of mistaken identity by overeager fans wanting to believe. California photo with Rihanna. Our next entry takes us straight into the realm of obvious digital manipulation and Photoshop trickery, yet its insane virality speaks volumes about the enduring nature of these conspiracy theories and people's desire to believe. In 2015, a viral image surfaced across the internet showing Tupac supposedly partying with pop superstar Rihanna in a California bar. The image appeared to show Tupac buying drinks and chopping it up casually with Rihanna like they were old friends, and it spread like absolute wildfire across Instagram, Pinterest, and every platform where people share content. For many younger fans who first discovered Tupac's legendary music catalog in the 2000s and 2010s through streaming and YouTube, the idea of their favorite deceased rapper interacting with contemporary artists seemed almost plausible in our digital age, where anything can be manipulated. The connection to Rihanna in this fake image wasn't entirely random or pulled from thin air, though. Rihanna is widely known throughout the culture to be a massive Tupac fan, even having permanent Thug Life tattoos inked on her body in tribute to the rapper's legacy and philosophy. She's publicly expressed her deep admiration for him on numerous occasions through interviews and social media posts, making the manufactured image seem, on a surface emotional level, authentic even if it wasn't factually accurate or real. However, the image was quickly and definitively debunked by anyone with basic photo editing knowledge. It was exposed and revealed as a clumsy Photoshop splice of two completely separate photos, one vintage image of Tupac from the 1990s and a modern photograph of Rihanna taken years later. When you examine it closely with any attention to detail, the edges show clear editing artifacts, completely different lighting conditions between the two figures, and inconsistent image quality that any trained eye could spot immediately. Major outlets like Vogue and BET have extensively covered Rihanna's genuine tributes to Tupac over the years, but none have given any credence whatsoever to this particular fabricated image. By 2023 on TikTok, where people call out fake content, the image is widely exposed and called out as a complete hoax, yet it stubbornly continues to circulate and get shares. Malaysia, video, and photos. In October 2018, the whole conspiracy theory world absolutely exploded across the internet when Suge Knight Jr., son of Death Row Records co-founder Suge Knight, posted Instagram videos and photos boldly claiming to show Tupac alive and well in Malaysia.
Suge Knight's son is bringing this one back to life. Tupac Shakur didn't actually die in '96 and is still alive and well. Suge Jr. has been posting images of Tupac posing with celebs, saying that the rapper lives in Malaysia now and the Illuminati knows all about it.
The posts were extraordinary and unprecedented in their sheer boldness, fam. The videos and images appeared to show a middle-aged man interacting and taking pictures with modern celebrities, including Beyonce and 50 Cent, with Knight Jr. captioning them with provocative phrases like, "He never left us." The footage showed the mysterious man from various angles and perspectives, and Knight Jr. even shared additional videos of himself being followed followed in the streets, implying direct threats to silence this supposed explosive revelation. The wild story was quickly picked up by major mainstream outlets including Esquire, Global News, XXL Magazine, and Hip Hop DX, bringing serious mainstream media attention to what might have otherwise remained just another social media curiosity that only conspiracy theorists followed. The credibility of the source, being the biological son of Tupac's former business partner and close associate, lent the shocking claims an air of legitimacy and insider knowledge that random internet posts and anonymous uploads completely lacked. However, the whole story quickly became mad, convoluted, and contradictory, raising red flags everywhere. Knight Jr. later clarified and walked back his statements in different ways at different times, at one point saying Tupac was dead but still releasing new music, which is a significantly different and less explosive claim than him being physically alive and walking around in Malaysia. This major contradiction completely undermined the original bold assertions and made people question his credibility. Forensic analysis of the images and videos by experts revealed serious problems with the content. XXL Magazine noted obvious inconsistencies in the photos that strongly suggested digital manipulation and editing, and professional video experts pointed out that the footage showed clear signs of post-production editing and tampering. The man's face in many shots was conveniently obscured or strategically shown at angles that made definitive identification completely impossible for viewers trying to verify the truth. Brooklyn lobby footage. In October 2025, a Facebook video began circulating that claimed to show Tupac, referred to by his alias Machiavelli, in an East New York housing project lobby. The footage captures a man resembling an aged Tupac walking through a residential building lobby, displaying the high cheekbones and goatee that have become identifying features in these alleged sightings. The video quality is notably better than many historical sightings, which might initially seem to lend it credibility, except for one crucial factor that immediately raises red flags. The timing of this video coincides with 2025 claims from various rappers hinting at Tupac's survival, creating what appears to be a coordinated viral marketing effort or elaborate hoax. The cultural conversation around Tupac has remained active, with artists occasionally making references in their lyrics, such as Kendrick Lamar's line, "Fake my death, go to Cuba," and Eminem's jokes about him dipping out, that keep the conspiracy theory alive in hip-hop culture. However, experts and average viewers alike have quickly identified significant problems with this footage. The video is widely suspected to be AI generated, part of a recent wave of deepfake technology being applied to deceased celebrities. The past few years have seen an explosion in AI's capability to create convincing fake videos, and discussions on Facebook and TikTok have labeled this particular video as likely synthetic media. The video has been shared extensively across multiple platforms, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, accumulating millions of views as people debate its authenticity. Some conspiracy theorists accept it as legitimate, arguing that improved video quality simply means better documentation. However, the overwhelming consensus among those familiar with AI-generated content is that this represents exactly the kind of deepfake hoax that has become increasingly common. What makes this particular sighting noteworthy isn't its credibility, which is minimal, but rather what it represents about the evolution of these conspiracy theories. We've moved from grainy, ambiguous footage from the early 2000s to sophisticated digital fabrications that can be created by anyone with access to AI tools. The Brooklyn lobby video demonstrates both how these theories have persisted into the modern era and how technology has transformed the landscape of evidence that fuels them. No independent verification of this footage exists, and it's widely regarded as another hoax in a long line of Tupac sightings. Yet it continues to circulate, shared by believers and skeptics alike, ensuring that even nearly 3 decades after his death, Tupac Shakur remains a subject of intense speculation and mystery. Outlaws video ghostly image. We arrive at our final alleged sighting, and it comes not from street footage or paparazzi shots, but from within the hip-hop community itself. In 2017, the Outlaws, Tupac's former rap group, released a music video that contained something unexpected and eerie, a translucent face in the background that resembled Tupac. The discovery came when eagle-eyed fans began examining screenshots from the video, zooming in on the background where a face-like image appeared. The features visible in this ghostly apparition included what appeared to be eyes and a goatee, characteristics associated with Tupac's appearance. For conspiracy theorists, this wasn't random. The Outlaws weren't just any rap group. They were handpicked and mentored by Tupac himself, remaining fiercely loyal to his memory long after his death. The group had continued to honor Tupac's legacy through their music, often referencing him and keeping his philosophies alive in hip-hop culture. Theorists interpreted the image in two primary ways. Some called it proof of secret collaboration, suggesting Tupac might have been involved in the video production in some capacity. Others took a more spiritual approach, viewing it as Tupac's presence watching over his former crew, a ghostly guardian appearing in their work. Both Metro and The Sun documented this sighting in their mappings of alleged Tupac appearances, noting how fans found it particularly eerie and moving. The emotional weight of the Outlaws connection made this sighting feel more significant than random street footage to many believers. However, skeptics offered more mundane explanations. After careful analysis, the image was debunked as either a lighting artifact or a case of pareidolia, the psychological phenomenon where humans perceive familiar patterns, particularly faces, in random stimuli. No evidence of digital manipulation was found, but neither was there any intentional placement of Tupac's image. It appeared to be simply a coincidental arrangement of light and shadow that, when frozen in a screenshot, resembled a human face. In 2025, following the death of Young Noble, one of the Outlaws members, this sighting has been revisited with more sentimental tones rather than conspiratorial ones. Fans now view it less as evidence of Tupac's survival and more as a meaningful coincidence that connects the past to the present. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.